right? So here's how I hire A players in an international market, especially in a competitive international market. So 3 quick things. These are just a few things. If you want to learn more, I've got a free Skool group that literally has over 100 plus videos on how I find people, how I hire people, different roles, different skills. For me, it's different SEO, paid ads, account manager skills, and things of that nature. For you, it might be an assistant, an accountant, an admin, whatever it might be. These are a few of the principles I use to find A players. The first thing is I actually make sure I'm the A player, right? And it sounds a bit ironic, but shout out to Layla Hormozi. You can't try you can't get respect unless you respect yourself. And that's facts. So what I make sure I do is I make sure that, I'm in the gym 5 to 6 days a week. I make sure that I'm legit. I make sure that people and my staff and my 30 plus staff members can see me closing deals pretty much every week across different parts of the world, not just in my little city, Australia, but they see me do it in Victoria, but they leave me in Melbourne, they see me doing all across Australia and internationally, okay, at an international level, number one. The second thing I do, and this is crucial, is I make sure that either the first or the last interview is someone else in my company that's doing their role. So for example, we just hired an account manager. This account manager had an interview with me, had a second interview with one of our account managers in the Gold Coast, okay? That was 2 months ago. And we didn't give her that position at the time because what we did is we promoted one of our other team members who was on the CRO and Google Ads side. He's a superstar. Shout out to Michael. He knows who he is. He's an absolute genius. He's already managing like 8, 10 accounts, and it's been like 6, 7 weeks. He's a genius, and he's gonna manage like 10 in like another 7 days in total. But yeah, so we promoted him. Now we brought this girl in literally as of Saturday. She responds on a Saturday, by the way. Now to some people, that's like, oh, this person doesn't work. For me, we have a company right now where we have people working 24. I'm not saying this is good or bad. This is just our company culture. That's why our churn rate, is less than 10%. When a lot of agencies, if you look at ChatGPT, the average agency's churn rate is 30 to 33%. Even the biggest agencies in Australia. In fact, one of the biggest agencies in Australia has a churn rate of 22% as per ChatGPT circa 2025. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what ChatGPT says. But the reason why we have lower churn is because our guys work around the clock anyway. So this account manager, she responds on a Saturday. That's a good sign. Anyway, so we had the second interview with her, interviewing with my account manager. My account manager thought she was legit. Boom. 6 to 7 weeks later, I give her a spot, talk about salary, done and dusted. I've already added her into Slack. She's going to get welcomed by another 30 plus people on Monday morning, right? So having other people in your team that already do the role that you're hiring for is an incredible way of screening that person, because someone that does the day-to-day can see if they're just BSing and saying all the sweet nothings to the CEO, right? And that happens. I've missed multiple times. I've been finessed. I've been scammed. The stories I can tell you of my losses outweigh the wins, but the wins are the ones that people remember, right? So that's the second thing that I do. The third thing that I do to find A players is content creation. So what I mean by that is, just like this, I put up a lot of YouTube videos, and I make these YouTube videos, yes, obviously to provide educational content to you guys, and even to my team and other people that want to start their own business or are trying to add an extra 10, 100K, a mil plus per year, per month, per week to their business. But we haven't done per week yet, but we've definitely done per year. I'll make that clear. But the reason why content's important is because I've literally had people on LinkedIn be like, I looked you up on LinkedIn and you're the kind of person that I want to work with. In fact, one of our account managers in the Gold Coast, the one that I was talking about, she actually saw my YouTube content and my Instagram, and she started commenting on the Instagram posts, right? So, lo and behold, she's like, look, these are my beliefs and X, Y, and Z and A, B, C, and D. And I feel like we align a lot there. And there was alignment there. And, long story short, whether she was lying or not, she ended up getting the job. Obviously, she wasn't lying because she would have been fired by now, but yeah, she got the job. So these things are really important. And that's how I've been able to find A players. And there's so many other things that I could tell you guys, like seeing how they interpret data, giving them the option to explain how they measure success in a certain skill set or in a certain role. That's another thing, that's an honorable mention. But those are 3 quick things that have helped me at 25 years old build a global team of 30 plus people, in a way that has attracted largely a lot of A players internationally.